Okay, so we've got these concepts, gua sha, yin-yang, meridians, acupuncture, cupping, herbs becoming more familiar. But like you said, they're linked to these key figures.
Yeah.
Let's start with Shennong and Chinese herbal medicine. He's like the original plant expert, right?
Yeah.
The one who supposedly tasted hundreds of herbs.
Exactly. Shennong is this legendary figure, really revered as the initiator, the originator of Chinese herbal medicine. The tradition says he dedicated himself to tasting hundreds of herbs. The phrase is Chang Bai Kao.
Chime by cow.
Yeah. To understand their medicinal properties, their effects on the body, the Shennong Materia Medica, even though compiled later, is attributed to him and seen as the foundation of this vast herbal knowledge system.
And it even categorized them.
Yes, it classified herbs into superior, sort of nourishing ones, medium for tonic effects, and inferior, which were seen as more for treating specific diseases. This act of personally investigating the natural world for healing substances, it sets a powerful precedent for TCM's empirical side.
And the stories about him are just incredible. I remember reading, didn't he have a transparent stomach or something? And would get poisoned constantly.
The legends are certainly dramatic. They really emphasize his dedication. The idea of a transparent stomach letting him literally see the effects of each herb, it's a powerful metaphor for his commitment.
Wow.
The stories often recount him being poisoned many times a day and relying on specific remedies, like tea, apparently, to recover.
And didn't he? Didn't the story end, sadly?
There's a poignant end to the legend, yes. Shennong is said to have finally died from tasting something called the heartbreaking grass, Bian Que, but only after diligently recording its effects. It's really a testament to that early pursuit of knowledge, even at great personal risk.
It's so interesting how different sources portray him, though. You mentioned some see him as this early agricultural leader, founder of culture, while the medical texts focus on the herb tasting.
That's a really insightful point. Early historical accounts, texts like Guoyu and Shiji, they mostly depict Shennong as, this pivotal figure in early agriculture, teaching farming, setting up markets, basically building society.
Okay.
It's in the later medical texts, like the Shennong Benkao Jing itself and the Huainanzi, that his image as the father of Chinese medicine, the one who painstakingly tested countless herbs, really comes to the forefront.
So his legend kind of evolved.
It seems that way. Over time, his status grew to encompass both the foundations of civilization and the beginnings of medical knowledge. It shows how these foundational figures often embody multiple facets of early Chinese understanding.
Okay. Next up is Bian Que, famous for her amazing diagnostic skills, right? Especially pulse diagnosis, almost like he had a sixth sense.
Bian Que is indeed legendary for his exceptional diagnostic abilities, often summarized by those four methods: Wen Kui, observing, listening, inquiring, and palpating, feeling the pulse.
Palpating.
Yeah.
The pulse.
Right, and his mastery of pulse diagnosis in particular became his signature skill. There's that very famous story of Bian Que and Duke Huan of Qi.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. Or I think I do. He keeps telling the Duke something's wrong.
Exactly. It vividly illustrates how illnesses can progress and the critical importance of listening to medical advice. He sees the illness is just in the skin, tells the Duke. Duke ignores him. Later, it's in the blood
He
vessels.
still ignores him.
Right. Then the stomach and intestines, until finally Bian Que says it's reached the marrow, the vital organs, and there's nothing he can do.
And the Duke dies. It's the origin of that idiom, right?
Precisely. Sickness reaching the vital organs, Bingru Gahuang, signifying a point of no return. It really underscores the value TCM places on early detection.
What a story. And then there's the other incredible one about him bringing the Prince of Guo back to life. That sounds almost miraculous.
Well, the account is certainly dramatic. It definitely highlights his legendary status. It emphasizes his profound skill in pulse diagnosis, supposedly allowing him to figure out the prince wasn't actually dead, but in some kind of deep coma or suspended animation.
How could he tell that from the pulse?
Well, that's part of the legend, isn't it? Legend also credits his teacher, a figure named Chang Samjun, with giving him special abilities, like being able to see the diseases within organs. It adds to the mystique, this idea of a deeper understanding.
Right, the ability to see inside. So while Bian Que might not have actually discovered the meridians as they're described later,
Correct. The systematic theory comes later in the Yellow Emperor's Inner Classic.
but his whole emphasis on pulse diagnosis,
Yeah.
on understanding these subtle imbalances of qi and blood, that must have been a crucial step towards that later theory.
Absolutely. Precisely. His intense focus on the pulse, his deep understanding of how it reflected the state of qi and blood within the body, it laid essential groundwork. His ability to detect subtle imbalances through palpation really paved the way for the more detailed, systematic understanding of the meridian system that came after him. He was highlighting the body's interconnectedness, the importance of energetic flow, even if the full meridian map wasn't articulated yet.
Okay, that makes sense. Now we get to Hua Tuo. He sounds like a real innovator, surgery, anesthesia, even exercises. Maybe the original biohacker.
Hua Tuo is definitely one of the most remarkable pioneering figures in TCM history, renowned for his surgical skills, yeah, and the development of mafizan, which was a form of anesthetic
Anesthesia back then.
incredible, isn't it? And also the creation of the 5 animal frolics, wukensi, a set of exercises specifically for health preservation.
Wow, is this documented?
Yes, historical texts like the Book of the Later Han and the Records of the Three Kingdoms mention his impressive surgical abilities and his use of anesthesia. It was incredibly advanced for that period, suggesting a very practical, hands-on approach.
But his story with Cao, that's so tragic, diagnosing Cao's headaches, suggesting brain surgery. That didn't end well.
No, it certainly didn't. His relationship with the powerful warlord Cao is a famous and ultimately tragic episode. He diagnosed Cao's chronic headaches as needing brain surgery.
Which sounds terrifying even now.
Right, and this proposition understandably made the already suspicious Cao believe Hua Tuo was plotting against him.
Oh, no.
So it led to Hua Tuo's imprisonment and eventual death. A loss that Cao himself reportedly later regretted, apparently when his own son was ill. It really highlights the challenges, the dangers even, faced by practitioners navigating powerful figures in politics.
Yeah, a real reminder of how those things intersect.
Yeah.
But on a brighter note, he also developed the 5 animal frolics, which are still practiced today, right?
They are indeed.
That really emphasizes DCM's focus on maintaining health, not just treating illness.
Exactly. The creation of the 5 animal frolics, with movements mimicking a tiger, deer, bear, ape, and bird, perfectly illustrates TCM's holistic approach. It underscores the importance of physical activity, cultivating the body's natural movements, maintaining overall vitality, all key strategies for preventing illness and promoting longevity. It's a beautiful example of that mind-body connection in TCM philosophy.
Okay, finally, Li Shizhen, the person behind the Compendium of Materia Medica. That sounds like a truly massive undertaking, a lifetime's work.
Oh, it absolutely was. Li Shizhen dedicated decades of his life to compiling the Compendium of Materia Medica, the Benkao Gangmu.
Decades.
Decades. It's an unbelievably comprehensive work. It details 1,892 different medicinal substances.
Wow.
Across 16 sections, 60 categories, accompanied by around 1,100 meticulously detailed illustrations.
Illustrations, too.
Yes. And remarkably, it included 374 new drugs, things not documented before, and over 1,100 prescriptions based on his own extensive research and observation. His unwavering commitment to accuracy, his guiding principle, something like practice first, rational thinking, daring to speak the truth, it was truly groundbreaking.
It's fascinating to compare his approach to the legendary tasting hundreds of herbs linked to Shennong. Li Shizhen's method sounds much more systematic, documented.
That's a really key distinction, yes. While that powerful image of tasting hundreds of herbs is strongly associated with Shennong, the mythical originator,
Right.
Li Shizhen's work represents a significant shift towards a more systematic, empirical, evidence-based approach, for his time, of course. His extensive travels to do first-hand research, his meticulous cross-referencing of countless previous texts, his dedication to correcting errors. It highlights a real commitment to verifiable knowledge, moving beyond purely legendary accounts toward the more, proto-scientific understanding of pharmacology.
So we've explored these key concepts and the influential figures behind them. But what really ties everything together, what's the fundamental philosophy, the worldview that underpins the entire system of TCM?